Welcome back. Now, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Charlotte Osei, says the media has failed to hold politicians to higher standards. At a stakeholders workshop in Accra, the EC chair lamented the media's low reportage on key reforms by the Commission, but rather on false reports and attacks on her person and the Commission.
400 radio stations, 63 TV stations, and a large number of print media are operating in Ghana. Despite the increase in the number of media houses, the profession has been criticized for not living up to expectation. 90% of airtime, according to the Electoral Commission Chair, Charlotte Osei, has been dedicated to politics, 5% to sports, with the other remaining shared among healthcare and other issues.
There has been no publication in the media seriously examining the more than 20 reforms which the Electoral Commission is implementing in this year's election cycle, and the implications of those reforms on the electoral process. We have not seen a single report on how the results of the elections can actually be compromised or manipulated from an operational perspective, which would now require that the media will call on the EC to remedy those operational gaps they have identified. Yet every day we are inundated with scurrilous comments in the media on how the EC and the chair of the EC as a person are rigging the elections.
She accused the media of abandoning each watchdog role, adding journalists have failed to demand accountability from politicians.
This is going to be the 24th year that the Electoral Commission has conducted general elections in the Fourth Republic in Ghana. And all those elections have been successful. And yet, the Electoral Commission is still not seen as capable of managing elections credibly in Ghana. And so it's important to take a step back and ask, what does it really take after 24 years to establish credibility?
Madam Charlotte Osei was speaking at a media and stakeholders workshop organized by the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center in Accra. Selected journalists and other stakeholders were trained on how to report accurately on elections. Participants were also taken through topics including election security, possible triggers, shortfalls, and consequences to peace and security.
If we take the new Tafu case and the manner in which it was reported as if the whole country was going to go up in flames because two ethnic groups, two religious groups who had lived together for a long time had clashed, and suddenly everything was going to fall apart. So the way in which the Speech Act is presented even creates further insecurity.
DJA President Alfred Moni urged the media to exhibit high professionalism in their reportage. The workshop was on the theme towards peaceful elections, reporting on election and security 2016.
Right, let's do some analysis now. Dr. Mesan Maugbe is Executive Director for the Center for Media Analysis. He's joining us now. Doc, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
The Electoral Commission chair says, I quote, the media has failed to hold politicians to high standards. Is that it? Is that just a cold fact, or you would say there is more to it than just that?
Thank you very much. I think we can't fault the EC comprehensively, in the sense that if you do a cross-section of how the media has been projecting the EC, one may ask, in the media's filtration processes, why has it been the content tilted towards one negativity or consistent negativity? I know that the media itself, acting as a medium, perhaps has been churning out information that has passed through its channels. But you also agree with me that the medium itself is also a content. Since the EC took office, the executive, there has been consistent negativity. You hardly find other sides of the news item projecting some of the positive strides they're making. Even sometimes some of the adjectives used in portraying her competency some of them are just unprintable. So I think we should rather see an awakening call in what Mrs. Charlotte say is saying.
Right, but Doc,
yeah.
I mean, the consistent negativity you refer to, I mean, if there are no negative stories to report, the media wouldn't cook these stories up or concoct them. I mean, credible media wouldn't do that. So should we put the blame squarely at the doorstep of the media alone?
I don't think so. You see, when the media tends to act as unilateral extension of certain establishments, that in this case, political establishments, if we are not careful in our professional activities, we might gloss over some of the positive strides the EC has made. I agree that the media mirrors, the negativity that's happening in the society. However, we should also, in the functional processes or the functionality of the media, calls on media practitioners not only to be projecting negativity, no matter how the degree or the intensity of it, we also have to flip the side of the coin and ask ourselves, wait a minute, is there any positive thing the EC is doing? But I think since our madam took office, we haven't actually experienced positive content about this institution, and I think it's a bit worrying.
But Doc, would you say also that this is possibly the conduct of the commission itself, not necessarily that of the chairperson alone, but all the commissioners? I mean, the conduct of the commissioners have warranted sometimes doubts in the minds of those who represent stories that come from the Electoral Commission. Shouldn't we all be looking at both sides for fixing blames? And then
that's
perhaps...
why, you are right, that's why I use the phrase that it's an awakening call. I think this, we have to look at it from constructive perspective. How can we turn things around? How can we all join hands with the EC? I think you see a clear dislink. EC up there, and then the other side of the society or other sides of establishment out there. But I think there should be that coordination. And I'm sure with this press call that the EC had is going to actually add value and is going to sharpen the relationship between the media and other establishments and the EC. I must also say that the EC has also been a bit silent in its public relations activities, which has actually led to media turning to group for whatever it lays hands on and publish it as news. So this being an awakening call, I'm sure we're all going to join hands and constructively project the EC in all the strides that they deserve, not just negativity.
Right.
The tendency of negativity around the EC as an institution, I think, has been overstressed.
Right, Dr. Mesan Maugbe, we're grateful. Thanks very much for your time. Dr. Mesan Maugbe is the Executive Director of the Center for Media Analysis. He says that some media houses have become unilateral extensions of political establishments, which he speaks highly against. My name is Stephen Ante. You're watching News at 10.